Okay, so the pen tool is located here. If you make your toolbar the short way, right, it's the third tool down. When you hold down on it, and if you wanted to do a tear off, you could. Actually, I'll do that. You'll see different tools, and you have the regular pen tool, which is the one you're going to use most of the time. You have add anchor point, and that's if you had a shape that you'd already drawn but you decided you wanted to maybe curve it a little differently and add more detail to it, you might use that to add points. So it adds points to a path. This tool deletes points from a path. So if you delete points from an end, it'll shorten the line. But if you delete them from a path that's already there, it's just going to remove them. And then this one will change, it'll convert an anchor point from being a straight anchor point, with straight lines on either side, to one that gives you handlebars. And in the past, this tool sometimes is a little funky to use. Sometimes it doesn't work as well as it might. I'm not really sure what this version of Illustrator, maybe they've improved it, hopefully. All right, so we're going to start out just using the normal pen tool. And when you go ahead and draw, and actually it might be kind of nice for us just to put a color of some sort in our fill, just so you can see what that's like, what the fill does as you draw, because you're used to having complete shapes, not pieces of shapes. And when you have a piece, the fill kind of flows along as you draw. So put that on just for now. We'll probably take it off after. And then have a stroke on there too. So, whatever color you want. And then as you go to draw, I notice I've locked things here. Let's make a new empty layer to draw on. So just click the new layer button. So when you're on a locked layer, right, it gives you that pencil with the line through it. So I just didn't want this artwork to get corrupted, so, or to get in your way either, so I went ahead and locked it. So we'll work on the unlocked layer. All right, now to draw this line, this is a really easy one because you're just going to click with the mouse and you're going to go down to the next point and click, and then you'll keep going. Now notice as soon as I complete, I'm not completely filling or closing that shape, but notice what that fill does as you draw. So the fill flies around. And one thing I've found that new students, when they're drawing, sometimes they'll have a white fill on and they won't know, but the fill will start to block their drawing as they go, and then they get really confused. So that's why I wanted you to experience this with a color so that you could see how it works. So that fill is always trying to fill as much as it can, but it's, if you don't have a closed shape, it's not going to fill solidly. Okay, so that's what the fill does. Now that you've seen that, you can go ahead and take that off if you want to, or leave it on, either way. It doesn't really matter. So the straight lines are really easy. Next we need to deselect. So you can use your command key to get the black arrow, and then you can just click outside so that you deselect. Or you could always, just click outside of it and then go back and get the pen tool. Alright, this is where it gets a little more complicated because we're going to be using handlebars. And you might want to watch first and then try it. So I'm going to click, I'm going to let go with the mouse. I'm going to go down to the bottom and I'm going to not let go of the mouse. My button is still clicked, but I'm going to pull. And I'm just going to pull the handlebar so that it hits the main line of the grid that's separating those curves. That's going to make half of my curve. Now because I'm going up, I don't have to click in the center of this handlebar to do my next curve. It'll do it perfectly for me. So we'll see as I click up, it's going to put that curve in. Then I'm going to go down and I'm going to click. I'm going to hold the mouse, not let go, and pull. And then once again I can go up. It's going to make that curve for me. And then I'm going to keep going. I'm going to click, pull, and then click up. So one thing to notice is that the handlebar makes the curve go the opposite direction that you pull. And that's what I think is so unintuitive, because we tend to want to move in the direction we want things to go, but this asks you to move the opposite way.
Similar to parking.
Okay, so I'll do that again. So it's click, down to the bottom, hold mouse, don't let go, pull, click, click on the bottom, hold the mouse, don't let go. And you just have to kind of get a sense of how that works. Now, if you mess up and you deselect somehow, the thing to know is that if you want to continue a line, you need to have a / before you continue. And let me show that. So just for some reason I managed to deselect, right? So if I want to continue this line, what I want as I hover over there is a little / line. So a line that's leaning to the right, that's the /. And if I see that when I click, it's going to continue the line. If I don't see it, if I see an X, it's telling me I'm starting a new line. So very important to know that symbol, so that you don't end up making a bunch of fragments. And then to deselect, remember that Apple key gives you the black arrow. You can just click anywhere outside your shape, and then you could go and continue your drawing. And knowing that key is going to be helpful, because as you draw each thing, if you don't know that, each time you're going to have to go to the black arrow in the toolbar and then go back to the pen tool, which is going to make things take a lot longer. If I didn't deselect, then my line would continue across this way. Alright, so the next line is kind of a combo of the two that we've just drawn. So I'm going to do the click, 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 and then I'm going to go down to the middle and pull, and then up. The next one is one where I'm going to be changing direction of my curve. So as I draw, I'm going to click, and then I'm going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to pull in the same direction I've been pulling. I'll pull all the way across so that I hit the second line over, major line on the grid. But here's where you've got to know about clicking these points, because if I just go up to here, look what it does for me. It draws another perfect curve. I don't want that. I need to change direction. So here's where, before I draw, I'm just going to click once to convert the anchor point so that it doesn't go the same direction it was going. And now I can go up and I can click. I'm not going to let go of the mouse. I'm just going to pull. And before I go down again, I'm going to click to the center to remove that bar. And then I'm going to click and pull. Click to the top. Oops, I forgot. I'm going to get rid of that. And what it does, as you click here, it gets rid of that half of the handlebar, which is going to let you move the curve whichever direction you want, as opposed to the way that it was, already set up to go. Like so. Alright, the next one is kind of a combo of straight and then curve. Sort of like this one, a little bit different though. So I'm going to hold the Apple key, Command key, so that I get the black arrow. I'm going to deselect, and then I'm going to go down and start this one. I'm going to click, and then I'm going to go down to the corner of the curve. I'm going to hold my mouse and pull, just until I see that line pop on, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares over. Now I have to get rid of that little half of the handlebar before I can go up, because if I just try to go up, it's going to fly out. See what it does? So I don't want that. So I have to click, and then I can go up and over and down. So sometimes, it's really nice when you're trying to do curves that go in the same direction to just use that natural curve you're going to get as you draw. But if you're changing direction, you have to remove half of that handlebar so that you can make your curve go in the direction that you want. Oops. So if you mess up like I just did, I forgot to get rid of the handlebar, I'm just going to Command Z and then click. And that's all you really need to do for this exercise. If there were any in particular that gave you trouble, you might want to erase it and do it again, because this is practice, so the more you do it, the better. But that's all you need to complete to get the point for that one. So just name it, last name, first name, EX12, and you're good.